One.
Hey guys.
Hey, hold on. We're screwing around.
That's all right.
Oh, got it. Let's plug it up.
I like William's hat.
Yes, sir. All right. How's our audio? Is our audio good?
Yeah, I hear you okay. I can bump you up a little bit.
Cool. Can you do that on your end?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Oh man, you already got him going.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's nothing. Whoever's smoking that up with you. Not right now, just when you introduce yourself. We're going to get you all right back here in a duel. Just go through the line. That's my right there. And then have a seat. Hey, good morning, Renny Doyle podcast. This is a different one. Hey, I've got a really good friend with us right now. And look at, we're twinsies. Oh, no, we're triplets.
We're triplets.
Chris has got his too. We didn't even plan. That's almost sick.
That's awesome.
So William Lara is our guest today. We're going to talk about small business, big thinking, and he's a good guy, man. He's a punching bag for the group of friends because he's so much fun. But nobody else can punch him except for us. We're protective over him, but he's a great human being. It's an honor to have him here. And there's a reason why we're smoking cigars.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of our thing. It's our bro code, man. It's so we're going to get into that. But today, before we launch into it, I really want to we're going to do some small talk. We're going to introduce some other special guests that we've got here. There's a lot of us enjoying a good cigar right now. And it's a good cigar. So, the shop hot boxed.
Luckily for me, I'm not partaking in that secondhand smoke today.
Yeah, well, don't worry because we're going to corrupt you and it's going to be firsthand smoke here before you're dead.
That'll be cool.
So, hey, today we're going to talk about, again, small business, big thinking. And I think this is going to be a cool interview because this dude, William, started out like many of us did with not a lot. And, he had a job and he was kind of tired of shit and wanted to kind of do his own thing, right? And I've really had a front row seat of watching this guy. We made a plan yesterday, just sat down and just talked about what he could do to really become the local influencer within the Miami market. And so we're going to do that. But before we do, we're going to get these other characters up. Come on, jump behind us real quick. We're going to have them introduced. This is our 5-day course. And, man, we're having a ball. They got done with Diane yesterday, so they got that side of it. But today and tomorrow, they're getting a whole nother level. And so we'll just go through, and we'll start right here. And I'll get out of the way. Introduce yourselves and where you're from. And then what cigar, what if you're smoking or not.
I'm not sure which one it is.
It's my father.
Corey Taylor. I'm from McMinnville, Oregon. I run CT Detailing Services.
All right.
Cool.
Name's Dawson from Miami, Boys in Blue Detailing, one of the owners. Brad Chang from Miami as well, Boys in Blue Detailing.
Awesome.
Nick Vera, I'm from Miami, Top Tier Detailers.
I'm Stephen Clark. I'm one of the interns here. I run Carology LLC based out of Texas.
Cool. Right on, guys. Right on. So we let's jump into this. And again, this has been it's cool to get to know these guys. And I've met every single one of them. I don't know if that's ever happened in a 5-day course where I've known where I've known every single one of them. And so it's been fun. We're going to dig in and start sanding on a Porsche tomorrow. That is pretty carved up, and Porsche paint can be a little challenging at times, especially this color, because it's hard to see what we're going to have to dive into. And then we got a lot of stuff today, all the wet work and stuff. But
it's gonna be busy.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a good day. But until then, William Lara I'm going to do a little pre-introduction with him. Is that I'm really proud of this dude. I don't tell him that enough. But I've watched what he's done. He's got a cool wife. I think what he did that was really, 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 really cool. Hold on one second. Hey, let's wait and do that later because it's going to take us completely off. It already did. He he really took and started this thing from his bare knuckles, and just it was an old fashioned bare knuckle fight, bar fight, right?
Little do people know.
Right. And so to watch him come up through the ranks and to really do what he's done is that I'm really proud of him. And I think just that his outlook, he's always, he's a combination of smart ass, smart. He takes a beating from us. He gives it back to us. But I will tell you this, the reason why we're starting out with some cigars, this is how our relationship started.
Oh yeah.
And so it's, we'll get into that, but, and so with that being said is, let's talk about, our first cigar.
Oh man. That was
Wait, which one are you? Which one mine?
I think this is mine. I don't want to crash
We're having some. No, I didn't lip mine. Yours got a lip mark. I haven't lipped mine yet, so
Oh.
it's good to go.
That
you
was
guys get coffee. Everybody got coffee.
yeah.
Is that a good mix or what? Cigars and
awesome.
coffee.
You were actually the one that turned me on that. That was SEMA 2017. You know, I bought you the cigar. You're like, okay, I'm leaving. I'll see you later. He's like, you're not gonna smoke it with me? And then you're like, oh, let's buy some coffee. I'm like, oh, this guy's crazy. Like, what? Who drinks coffee? I'm thinking whiskey or like, cognac or something. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's been awesome.
coffee and cigars go really
It's
good
been
together.
awesome.
It's a Cuban friend of mine that Alonzo down in Heber City, Florida, is the one that got me onto this. Cuban coffee and cigar. He had a really nice high-end cigar shop down there. And if you guys haven't been there, you guys are from Florida. We had a lot of people from Florida. He brought them in. And so these are all people that he does business with and that we've met. And so, but have you guys spent time down there?
Yeah.
Heber City? It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
in Tampa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, it's kind of the cigar capital of America, you know? And we used to go down there and have Cuban coffee and cigars and come out of there buzzed as hell. I mean, just going 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And so
It's a good combination.
it is. So we shared that cigar together, and then we shared another one down at Mobile Tech. Remember sitting out on the patio?
Oh yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
What cigar was that one? That was your buddy's.
That was from Casagrande Cigars.
One of my favorites.
Those are actually one of my favorite cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
have
smoke
to.
a lot of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I really do.
that's a good cigar.
Yeah.
And they're good company.
I'm trying to cut back. You know?
They're
It's
good-
like
me
instead
too.
Instead of every day, it's like
No,
once a week.
I have
you know?
no. I don't even do it that. I do it
Oh.
probably. I only probably smoke maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't even average one a month.
They just have quality cigars.
Mhm.
They really do. It's just
Mhm.
you can't beat it.
So are you a hole punch guy? There's a V cut right
so
now.
I do a double V cut, which is a crown cut.
Yep.
So it allows me to get a good flow on it.
So this is pretty honored. You guys got a really good cigar too. I thought he's going to be bringing you guys cheapy ones. Is that I got more for
I
us,
did think
too.
of it,
I
though.
I got more of us. So these are my father's. It's a great cigar.
Yeah, they're I can't go I smoke other cigars, but when it comes to like my father, especially Casagrande cigars, I stick to what I like, and I've been like that ever since.
You know, the last cigar I had, I was in an officer's training up at San Luis Obispo, Camp Slow. And a couple of the guys went out in the parking lot Saturday night. We were just about done with the course. We had a couple good cigars, and it was a good cigar. And when the guy comes out, he says, "Hey, I'll treat you to a nice cigar." It was at my father's. And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" And that good.
They're based in Miami too.
Man. They are.
Yeah.
And now there's a My Cigar. This turned into a cigar. We just need to reach. We got to rename the podcast. You know.
Yeah. Right.
I'm good for that.
The cigar podcast.
And then we'll get Chris
Cigar-
going in his
cigars and
bedroom.
coffee?
We'll get him out in his garage with the cigar, you know. We'll get him one of the little old candy ones that you can blow the candy out the end, you know.
That'll be funny.
You guys have that when you were kids? Did they even do?
Cigarettes?
Yeah, little cigarettes. Yeah, I mean, I never touched this. I've never had a cigarette in my mouth.
You get them off the ice cream truck.
Yeah, the ice cream truck. Boy, would that be like? Could you imagine that today? You know, it was like, wow. They're probably sponsored by Marlboro too. We just didn't know it. You know, they're probably just hooking a bunch of kids off the ice cream truck on cigarettes. You know, at a young age. And so, well, that's cool. So let's dive into that. And Chris, I want you to jump in too, because you're mafia. You came through right now. You're the senior intern. Steven's the intern. Your senior intern, coming back to help these guys grow. You've progressed. You started out. Did you start out with $1 million?
Man, I remember I started the business in 2014. With a plan of as a side gig, and turned into like, oh shit, like I really like this. And I've always wanted a detail, right? And you know, one thing led to another, and you know, I started off with one paycheck coming through and $1,500 in a 401k. That's all I had.
Really?
I had nothing else.
That anybody else here turn in any 401k to start your business up? I did a little bit. I took some out.
And it wasn't much, but you know,
Yeah, but
I had to cash out.
no, you had to,
I
right?
had to.
I took a little bit out, and I was like, okay, this is going to hurt because you got to pay a lot of taxes on it, right? When you pull that out, and I told Diane, I said, you know, I pulled out. I started up, and I started with $20, and I didn't really want to, you know, that was my retirement, right? I worked hard, right? I mean, so I didn't want to really touch that. But then when I saw Diane actually came to me and she's like, look, man, you got to pull that money out. You're on fire and you just don't have enough equipment and enough products. And it's taking you a lot longer, man. Dude, go pull it out and go. And so that's what really launched us too. And so, okay, so it's a side hustle. What are you doing at that time for work?
I was working in the retail corporate world. You know, it was a point in time where I had a supervisor or superior that, you know, I was going to say a few things that was probably going to get me fired. Right. I could only hold so much. Right. And that was my plan B. Right. Like starting the detailing business and pressure cleaning. Eventually, when I saw the potential in it, right. I've always wanted to do this since I was like 14 years old. Right. I've always liked cars. I always wanted to make money because unfortunately my parents, you know, couldn't afford the best things. You know, I always had to do that. And, you know, things started picking up and I told my wife, hey, I don't know when, but it's going to come to a point in time when I'm going to have to decide whether I want to stay working or I'm going to start the business. And like literally like 3 months later.
Really?
I was like, okay, yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I met your wife for the first time down where at his event, right? We hadn't met. Heard so much about her. She's powerful, dude.
Oh, she's awesome, man.
She's powerful. I mean, she is a powerful woman. It's kind of like Diane when she kind of first walks up, you kind of pee yourself a little bit. It's like you just know you're going to have your balls in your throat
for sure.
if you say the wrong thing, right?
She's my biggest supporter, my biggest critic too. So
she got right on the bandwagon ragging on you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she just joined me right away, man. I mean, she was just hitting him, you know. And honestly, I didn't know it was that small until I talked to your wife. You know, he takes it, man. I love him, but he gives it back to me. He gives it back to me.
Sometimes
You know,
they don't like it big,
but yeah.
Gee whiz. You guys went there, huh?
Do we have a rated R symbol on the?
No, we don't care right now. We don't care. It's fine. Hey, I guess we should have put the parental guidance up a little bit before this one. And so, you know, so that first time, so yeah, it was difficult for me when I left my job because I actually had a job. I loved it, and I loved my boss. My boss taught me, Michael Scott. The dude just taught me so much in the 5 years I was with the company, and he promoted me. I mean, just through the roof, right? I mean, he just believed in me. I felt guilty leaving him. You know, it was that good of a relationship, but I just felt like a hamster, you know, and I've said this before, getting on the wheel and, you know, I'd run my little hamster legs off and ding, the bell would ring and I'd go get my little hamster food and ding, I'd back on the little hamster wheel and then ding, go get my little, you know, my little hamster water and you know, suck the little water out of the tube, ding, I'm running back, you know, and I was just like, dude, I can't see myself doing this for 30 years, you know, I mean, making good money. I mean, I had great bosses. I was learning, I was promoting. They gave me raises through the roof. I had a company car expense report, was traveling, all these cool things a young person would love. And I felt like I had handcuffs on.
I mean, like I wasn't happy, you know, and I learned through life, no matter what you do, just do what makes you happy, and everything will fall into place, you know.
So you start up, you go mobile.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I remember, when did you move into your current location?
Actually, right before COVID,
2 years ago.
November 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you calling me up and saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." I was 100% behind it. It's a reality shop. It's not big. It's not fancy. I mean, parts of Miami where you're at, it's not cheap to get a shop.
Oh,
right?
no,
And it's
not.
probably,
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to find a shop?
Well, it took me 6-7 months just to find that one.
And I'm not sucking enough. I got to suck a little more. And so you're gonna light it for me. So let's talk about that. So that transition, you know, and I just agree and add narrative to this. I really think that when people move into a shop, is that day. I got it. Thank you, though. Steve, you're such you're just such a sweet. Oh, you want yours lit?
Yeah,
You want me to light it for you? Come here, Steve. I'm gonna light yours for you. Come here.
That's the
Come on.
only reason I came back
Come on.
to see
Put it in your mouth.
Mhm.
That's
Put it in your
let them
mouth.
get any screenshots.
No. Get in here.
No,
So you
you
got
have to
no,
get in
I'm
here.
gonna light
That's
it
part of
for
the-
you.
that's part of the process.
Okay, now suck it hard. Okay.
I'm not on my knees.
Come on, puff.
And
Puff.
this is what we call a
Puff,
podcast with William
puff,
Lara, right?
puff. Okay, there you go. So
If I'd known you were doing this, I would have worn my white hair.
Chris is never going to let us have cigars again on the podcast ever.
Nope.
I believe that you have to have 6 to 12 months of savings saved up that covers your not just your shop but your home expenses when you start a shop up. Did you have enough finances saved up? Were you in
Nope.
good shape? No.
I was. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I was.
I want you to.
You know, I cut it close, but you know, I had a dream, I had a vision, and you know, I had the plan.
There you go.
Right? You know, I just didn't depend on detailing. You know, I had other sources of income that was helping me do that. Right? I have 6 months now. I probably had like 2 of that.
Right.
Right?
And your wife's there. She's got a good career, right? I mean, yeah. So she was your backup. So okay, I go with that. I did kind of the same thing. I won't say I regretted it later, but it made it tough.
I mean, it's you know, I bet it on myself, and you know, it's not to sound arrogant or not, but I just don't lose when I do.
Yeah.
There is no plan B for me.
No,
It's plan A or nothing else.
I dig it. And so you went for it, and then you start transitioning. I mean, I watched you, and this is kind of what I kind of want to get across is to people is that, oh, look at this. There's a picture of your shop up when we were down there.
Oh,
And let me tell you, this photo doesn't do his shop justice. I mean, it's a cool, look at these guys. You got to come over here and look at it. You guys were there. And so this photo does not do his shop justice.
Oh yeah.
And I want to tell you is that it was one of the best of, you know, I'd wanted to come down and support you. We went to Mobile Tech, we went to yours, we went to Mark's. That little shop, you and your wife did such an outstanding job on that shop. How many square feet do you have?
1250.
And so very real. It's not, you know, you had that whole wall done, you know, kind of with a Miami flavor to it. And from somebody that's not from Miami, when I walked in, you guys probably go in and you see it every day. For me to walk in there, I was blown away. I mean, I've seen pictures of it and everything else, but when I walked in there, I was like, oh, holy shit! It was just clean. The floor's clean. Everything had a theme. It was you. You could tell you put what you liked into it. And do you what like when you guys first walked into it? What did you guys think? What was your opinion?
Like you said, I liked it. It was clean. Everything was organized. You know, and everything was clearly displayed, so there's no guesswork to be like, oh, let me see what's behind there.
Absolutely.
You can see all the products.
His little store up front is freaking, dude. You nailed it. I mean, you freaking nailed it. So walk us through. God, man,
I call her the Fortune
this is
300.
good.
Was that all you, or did your wife help you set up?
No, she helped me. You know, like the most important part that I appreciate so much of her is, man, she just let me do what I had to do.
Yes.
She believed in me. Did she, have doubts and yeah, of course, you know what I mean? But it's like when I told her I wanted to quit my job to start my business, like, you think you could do it? I'm like, I don't think so. But I got no other option. You know?
You could see it in her. I think she's a realist.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, and she's smart, and I think here's the good thing of having, a powerful partner, is because there's a lot of females that are going to be listening to this, or a soundboard is, when you have somebody that, it's not a negative Nancy, but they'll say, okay, hey, here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm worried about. Stand up, take note of that, but also use that as your fuel. You've got Steven sitting there shaking his head because his wife is a freaking, can I say it? She's CPA. Holy shit.
I don't take cash anymore because of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's good. He said he doesn't take cash anymore. Is really when you want a legitimate business, you can't do that shit. You want everything. And like I said, in my early days, did I? Yeah. Even today, I like to have a little stash of cash. I like it when somebody pays me a little something in cash. But my business is 99.999999 transparent. And my accountant won't sign off on it. My good accountant, if she hears me go in a direction, she's like, either shut up or let me change your mind on this. And so, that's a good accountant, not a bad. I don't want to go to jail because of my accountant.
Oh,
Now, your wife might want you to go to jail. You know, you're little, you're a fun sized dude in prison.
I don't even know anymore. I need a new job title being here.
Mm.
No, in all reality though is that it is kind of a 24/7. But she's got a fat corporate job. She's not just a CPA, but she's going part time to thankfully be able to watch the kids more often.
Live a little bit of that side of the life.
Finally,
Yeah.
and and then go back or stay.
Yeah.
She's not the same company, but anyways, she won't sign off on stuff for me because she can lose her license.
Absolutely.
And the minute you pierce, that may be good advice for people. The minute you start messing around with an LLC and pierce a corporate umbrella, they come after your personal
No,
stuff.
oh, they do. And let me tell you, that's a good point. Is that kind of going off top a little bit, but excellent point. Listen, an LLC or an S Corp or C Corp isn't going to totally protect you guys. You guys break the law, is that, or even if you've got, let's say that you're in a lease and you've got somebody that's the property owner that's, we won't even go there, right?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Not today.
So even if you've got a property owner that's like a little iffy, it comes down, if they got a powerful attorney, they're gonna pierce whatever you got. Now, an S Corp and a C Corp might be a little harder for them to do, but an LLC, they'll rip through that thing like they'll make it. You'll be a solid piece of cheese, and when they're done, you'll be Swiss cheese. They're gonna knock holes all over you.
You know what was
before
good?
you know
Also,
it.
there's obviously going issues, my landlord or whatnot. But there's a website called Just Answer. You pay $60 a month.
Yeah.
And you have legal attorneys that you can ask questions to.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Say that again. What is it?
It's called Just Answer.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
.org or .com? Or?
I'll post that information on the thread now.
Yeah, we'll put it over on your social media or something.
Yeah,
like
I'll do that.
You can follow it too.
I'll do that.
That's good information for everybody. So now you you go in your shop. Let's back up even past that. So you and I meet. There's an instant connect. I dug your personality. I mean, it's just, I don't know. We just always got along, right? And I feel that, you're, how old are you? 30 what?
I'm 33.
Okay, so I say this, man. This is cool. This year we had a lot of 33-year-olds. I woke up when I was 33 and realized that I wasn't shit. I was doing good, but I wasn't shit. You know why? Because Jesus was 33, and we're still talking about it. Does that make sense? And I know that's kind of weird, but I just woke up and I was like, dude, I ain't shit. It kind of humbled me. I was like, I ain't shit. You might think you're shit, but you're not shit. That dude's still being talked about. Whatever your feeling is, whatever faith you are, it's there. And so it's such a freaking cool age, man. One of my favorite years. And I think it was because of that connection, with faith and knowing that, he was 33 and that I don't know, it just humbled me that year. It's just such a cool year. When do you turn 34?
August.
Okay. So go balls to the walls until then. Seriously, because 33 is just, I'm telling you, it's not by chance. It's a powerful year.
He's a bad influence just because you're watching, my wife.
Yeah, no, 30. Go balls to the wall the rest of the year because I gained so much traction that year. I'm not kidding you. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just the connection. And then the next year I gained traction was 39. When I turned 39, I freaking gained traction. And then the 40s were fixing the 30s. My whole 40s fixed everything I screwed up in the 30s.
Yeah.
And then the 50s have been a ball, dude, because I don't give a shit what people think about me. I don't give a shit what I just don't. I mean, I care if they're close to me, but if it's somebody I don't know and they post something hateful, I just had somebody post something smart ass and I was like, son, come on out and I'll school you any day. And by the way, your mom taught you manners at some time, use them. And that's all I came back with. And I just, the end. And I don't care. I don't know if he followed up. I don't care if he followed up with anybody. The dude means nothing to me if he's going to be rude. Does that make sense? And I just put it out there. And that was one of the few I just didn't delete because I was more upset that somebody just was rude. It was just like, dude, learn some manners. Don't come on and say something rude. Stop being an asshole in somebody else. You want to be an asshole, be an asshole on your own. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's jump through.
Hey, check this out real quick. I've always been told that 33 is kind of a special age and number two. So while we were sitting here, I Googled it. It said, and I came up with this. It said the number 33 is a master number and resonates with the energies of compassion, blessings, inspiration, honesty, discipline, bravery, and courage.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
It says the number 33 tells us that all things are possible, and it also symbolizes guidance.
We got it. Wow. Okay, so what's the double? So double that. I got to wait until I'm 66 for another year like that. Holy shit. I'll wait. I'll wait. And so 33, dude, You know what? And you're a practical joker in the group. We have a thing. We're at Air Force One. I kid you not. This is going to be a lot of fun memories. The first year is at Air Force One. We're taking our team photo, and I'm like, okay, everybody look at the camera, and we take a picture, and whoever's taking the picture, and everybody look at the camera, and here's William. So here's the camera, and here's William. And so we had to take it. I said, William, look, oh, hey, dude, like get a squeaky toy. You know, whoever's taking the picture. And so the next year, didn't we bring one? Didn't we bring a squeaky toy or something like that?
That was fun.
Oh, so it was awesome. And so, you know, we love to, the whole group plays with you. We have fun with you. So now you transition your shop. Well, were you going to detail out of there, or was it going to be what you have it now? Because explain what it is. Explain what it is now, and then we're going to go back a little bit.
Okay, so now, you know, the plan was to, you know, be able to still detail, which I not as much as I want to now, but, you know, it just shifted into being a supplier. It got that busy with all the other stuff I do within the industry. It was like, I don't got time.
No, and you've got a great relationship. So what trend? So I remember watching this, and you're constantly sending me pictures. Hey, what'd you think of this? And I got to tell you, that's what's cool about William is that I'm definitely old enough to be your dad, you know, but you're constantly respectfully. I share my opinion with you, and sometimes you didn't agree, but you never threw it in my face. I could only make you suggestions, but the one thing that William came back to, even if you didn't agree with suggestion, he kept coming back. And I saw you do that with other people that were wiser. And wisdom's tough, man. You can be smart, you can be clever, to be wise is really tough. It's really tough to be wise. But here you were at a young age going to myself and other people that had some of that wisdom that had been there, and you're getting their input. How much did that help?
Priceless. I can't. You know, I have guys like you, but then I have guys like Justin Lobato, Mark Elliott, Kyle Clark. It's like all the wisdom and value they bring, you can't put a price on that.
Hundreds of years.
No, there's no way.
Hundreds of years. And even people your age that are in your same, they're coming up through. I love seeing you converse with people, your customers that come in, your different people, and you're constantly hearing them out. I noticed that when I was down there. You hear them out. And I think that's really important. So many times we open our mouths, but we don't open our ears. And I saw you taking with people, opening your ears, and then opening your mouth. And I think that's really important. And I appreciate it because
I've improved throughout the years. I'm be honest with you. I wasn't like that. You know,
well, none of us were.
I just like to talk to.
Yeah. I remember my grandma saying, "You better not do that." And I go do it. I ended up in a boys' work camp.
Yeah.
You know?
I just feel like
cleaning up goat shit.
It's like,
you know?
It's like building the relationship, you know? Like it's more than just product. It's more just detailing, just building the relationship and life period, you know?
Yeah. It's so Trench's new level. Tell us, what's the journey like? So you don't start out with much. Okay.
Nope.
Now looking back, what year was that?
So I started the business 14. I quit my job September 21st of 2016.
So take me through the struggle years. I want to get your opinion. Those hardest years when you're like, wow, holy shit, man. Not that I ever said, am I going to make it? But deep down in my soul, I was going, am I going to make it? Right? I mean, you question yourself every once in a while. Not doubt yourself. Difference. Question and doubt.
I had multiple days that I wanted to quit.
Okay. Now looking back at those days that you wanted to quit, you've made it through this journey, and you're going to have more of those, you know, because the only thing that changes is you grow and you succeed are the challenges. Looking back at what do you look at? Do you regret those days? Do you hate those days? Or do you get pleasure in thinking about those days and go, wow, that was the grassroots days?
Those were the days, man. Like, you know, when I started detailing, you know, I was like, okay, cool. Start off as a side hustle. I got into detailing. I drove a van to work for a year. You know what I mean? But it's like, why is this guy like in this position still driving like a cargo man? Like creepy, right?
Yeah.
So then, you know, it's just one thing led to another. You know, I started off in a pickup truck that I just found online for sale, which is I'll probably end up getting it back.
No, don't buy it.
No,
don't buy it.
No, I have to.
No,
I
you
have
don't.
to.
No, you don't.
But
You got to
it
spend
was
that
just,
money to improve your business.
You know, it was one of those that it made me better. It made me stronger. It made me wiser. You know, you're gonna have mistakes through the process, right?
Right.
You just gotta learn from those mistakes and just continue, right? People's like, oh, we have so many problems and we have problems and problems, but the thing is, the longer it comes, the more problems you have, it just gets easier for you to deal with it because you have a solution for it.
Amen. Well
You know?
said. I look back at the days of going up. I've said this often, and I think it's because my pride was hurt. Of the days going up to the fuel pump in my first van, which was a big 16-foot box van, like a U-Haul van, and not knowing if my ATM card was going to have enough on it to fill the tank.
I mean, we've all been there.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
whoever, if you say you haven't, it's
No,
probably
and
bullshit.
you know what? I look back at those days, and I won't say I hated them when it was happening, but it was so stressful, it was so challenging. But now I look back at those days, and I was like, "Holy shit, man!" I have fond memories of them, not hatred. That fueled me. It got me going. Now, do I want to go back there? We go there just at a different level. We put ourselves at risk, but my ATM card works now. Does that make sense? It's just a little different. You get it, right? You're laughing. Is that? And so, with that being said, we spoke yesterday about the impact you're making to go to the next level. How important it is for you to see these guys? How much has your life changed now watching people come into your shop for supplies versus a detail service? And do you take that home at night when a guy or a gal comes into the shop and you see they're struggling a little bit? Does it bother you?
100%. Because I knew where, like, they're coming from.
Mhm.
Like, I know what it is to start not have nothing, not even have money to have insurance in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
You know, charging the $35, $50 washes. It's like when guys come in, it's more than just them coming in to buy products. It's more of, man, let me see how I can help them in their business, right?
Right.
Give them the opportunity that I was blessed enough to have, you know, coming up and, you know, within the industry. So I enjoy that process a lot.
So you've got relationships with a lot of key figures and key companies in the industry. You want to go into that? It's not on our program. Hey guys, we don't script this. All I do is get an outline. You can see I'm looking at it every once in a while. Because half of what we've talked about it wasn't even on here, you know, which is cool.
So, you know, it's crazy because a lot of people have the opportunity in front of them and don't realize that they do, right? So it's just, again, it's about building a relationship with different manufacturers just to have that relationship, right? And, you know, I've been blessed enough to be able to work with some of the companies like Flex, you know, Buff and Shine, Auto Geek, and then I have different suppliers. And it's like, you know, I do, you know, my social media and marketing side of things, and is, you know, that helps me diversify my portfolio somewhat.
Yesterday,
you know?
we're sitting here, and you guys, I don't know if you caught it or not, but he takes a phone call towards the end of the day. Bob Phillips, president of PNS, calls you.
Yeah.
Just a bullshit.
Yeah.
He gives you crap too. And it's cool to see a guy that's come up in a relatively short time. You think of that. You're not even 10 years in, and you've made an impact. So with those companies, you've got some amazing clients. I mean, you've had, you know, and again, what you'll find with these clients, we've had them through the years. Some of them really do connect with you, and other ones, you're a service provider, you know. But during that, I know you've called me up and said, "Hey, man, such and such said this." How much has it helped you to watch other successful people? Have you been able to take and watch them and through osmosis?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Give us an example. Again, not scripted. Can you give us an example?
There's not a particular, you know, person or scenario. It's just I learned through other people's experience too. You know, it's like what they go through is, you know, of how they relate to different manufacturers and so forth. But there's not a particular moment, but I do learn from the rest. So
it's funny because when I set out, I've worked, and you have probably, you guys from Miami have done it. You work with the billionaires, not just the millionaires, the billionaires. I learned really quick I didn't want to be a billionaire. And people will say, why? I look at what they've had to do, and that's just not my wheelhouse, you know?
I just want to be happy and comfortable.
And listen,
you know,
it's a great place as we're looking at, you know, with your daytime job. I see people, and I mention it all the time because it's no freaking lie, dude, is that, you know, some people think you live forever in this body you've got right now in this business. And we can tell you from our life experiences, you know, your military, you know, your other job, some people are snuffed out way early. And sometimes there's no control over it. They leave their house, go into their job, they're happy, they're going to come home to their kids, they've got a play that night, and somebody hits them, and game over. And so I tell people the reason why I didn't want to become a billionaire is I knew I watch those individuals. I got one of my really good mentors and friends that's a billionaire several times over. And he's happy. He's a happy guy, but he shared with me what it cost him. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. I had a little taste of it. I let that brew into me, and it was brewing heavy when I met him. And he could see it was making me angry. It was making me resentful. It was making me a lot of things, and I had to check myself. I was honest with these guys. Went through counseling back in 2011 to get my head right. Was at a real low spot, and it was chasing that dollar that did it. Because I found out real quick, my addiction is William. I'm addicted to him. But success became my drug, and I didn't have a drug. I'm not addicted to these. I can give them up tomorrow. I don't have to have this. Coffee's. It's not a daily addiction, but coffee's probably pretty there. A couple other things we don't want to talk about because we'll keep it G-rated. But it's look at Chris is like going, oh God.
I'm just waiting for the internet to shut us down.
Hey, if it doesn't shut Joe Rogan down, but boy, talk about that. You talk about society going after that dude. You look at what happened. So hold that thought for a second. Write it down and bring it up. Write it down.
Relative to exactly what you
Okay,
said.
say it.
As quickly as you can earn it, you can lose it.
Absolutely. Amen. Thank you for adding it. As quickly as you can make it, you can lose it. And I can tell you this: if you're smart and you're wise, you won't lose it all. Though, you know what I'm saying is that your risk become bigger, but your support pot becomes bigger, and you don't risk that whole pot anymore. I remember when I was young, when I was your age. Fuck, dude, I was rolling. Excuse me, I'm not supposed to say that. I was rolling, and not because I'm not supposed to. I'm trying not to, but I remember rolling everything. I mean, and I had kids. I'm risking it all, And I look back on that, and there's the regrets. I learned, and what I've learned, I can share with others now. I wish I would have been a little wiser not to do it. But now, I didn't lose it all. But that pot got really light. I mean, it went to a jar. It was no longer a pot, and you could rattle it. The dollars were gone. There was coins left. But we made it. We made it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so, what we're going to go away some takeaways. Before we do that, your favorite cigar, if you had to pick one out.
Just one?
Okay, 2 or 3.
All right, so I honestly keep in between mostly 2, which is my father's cigar and Casa Cueva cigars. Mm-hmm. They sell, they have some of the best quality cigars you can smoke.
They do.
No, they honestly
and
they really do.
They've been really good to us. We've had them on projects with us.
They're actually they sponsor the cigars for Air Force One.
Yep.
So
good cigar. I'm going to tell you, I'm right with you. Just those are 2 of my favorite, and then pretty much anything Drew Estate. I love Drew Estate cigars. Yes, sir. Because it's a mellow cigar. And I'm going to probably get slaughtered from the serious cigars. I like a Cuba. I do. It's a dessert cigar. Look at, they're all leaving. I do. I like it it's a nice sweet cigar.
Really, I like to smoke acid.
I like acid. Yeah, I like acid cigars.
Write that on. Edit it.
I like acid cigars, man. I think they're really. I don't know. It's a beginner cigar. Hey, man, Okay, hold on. I got to go back. My daughter came when she was in the Marine Corps. She came home, I think it was my 50th birthday. She came home with an Opus X, an original Opus X. Okay, that she got over when she was in Europe or Asia or somewhere. And it was original. It was generation, the big generation where it was the talk of cigar aficionado. I got such a buzz off that cigar. I was out of my mind buzzed. Out of my mind. Okay, so here's another really cool fact that you guys, Cuban, you'll dig this. I don't know if I ever told you that. Archie Michigan. Look up the name. Archie was a cigar manufacturer pre-embargo over in Cuba. He had a candy manufacturing company and a cigar manufacturing company. Well, he had a whole wall. His garage was about 50 feet, and it was all humidor, the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Well, as I got to know him a little better, Archie asked me to come in and smoke with him. So his wife briefed me. I had to dress up. I didn't have to have a suit on, but I had to have a sports coat on. I had to dress professionally. He's old school, right? Archie, unfortunately, is no longer with us. And Archie brought me in, and he goes, "Hey, son, how come you're always smiling?" And I went, and he goes, "Oh, hold on, I know why you're always smiling. Your wife's younger than you, isn't she?" And I went, "She is." He goes, "You know why I know that? My wife's younger than me." You know. So we sit down, and as I walk into the smoking room, the first thing I see is a picture of him with John F. Kennedy having a cigar. Wow. Then the next picture is him and the entire Rat Pack, one off, and then one picture with all of them smoking a cigar.
Didn't he invite you to his house one day?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. And we smoked in the smoking room, and he had every, from Eisenhower all the way up to Reagan, a picture of them having a cigar together. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm going, okay, I think I just arrived. You know, I think I'm the poorest guy to ever sit with this guy and have a cigar. So as we're sitting there, we're puffing on it, right? I go, "Archie, so, I mean, how many boxes of these do you have?" He goes, "Enough to last me my lifetime." They're all pre-embargo cigars, pre-embargo. I said, "What do they go for?" And he goes, "Oh, I think the last time I gave some to Arnie, it was Schwarzenegger." He goes, "You know, I think he got about 3 a stick." And I sat there for a second because I know it wasn't $3. And I said, "I'm smoking a $3,000 cigar." And he goes, "You are. Enjoy it." And he was almost saying, like, "You're never going to get a fucking another one," you know, because, you know, I watch the scars, you know. And so I sat there, but, you know, that was a pretty damn good cigar.
Oh,
And I was buzzed. I'd have Diane come pick me up. I couldn't drive. I was buzzed out of my mind, man. Never done drugs, but I imagine it kind of felt like doing drugs. So coffee in this is,
you know, I've always, it's either, you know, whiskey or cognac or like Cuban coffee, but like the American coffee with cigar just goes right.
mm-hmm.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty does.
Cuban coffee in there is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to your takeaways. Favorite book? Can you name one or two?
Oh, I'll name a few actually. You know, when I first started the business, I got into, you know, reading and audios. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
Well, hold on. So can we say it?
Yeah, that's fine.
So Grant was one of your customers.
Yeah. So as soon as I finished his book, you know, I also got a video from Steve Harvey, but we'll go with that later. I was like, all right, I need to make this guy my client. I really do. So I just started tagging him on pictures. And so one day he commented and liked on it, and then I messaged him, and he replied, "All right, you know my assistant."
Wow. So hey, I'm gonna put. I've never said this publicly, but because you just mentioned his name, Glenn Stearns. I was on the program Undercover Billionaire with Glenn. Glenn invited me in. He's got true billionaire. Hey, Glenn, if you're watching, I'm the one that told you about Grant Cardone, and the Discovery Channel didn't know anything about Grant Cardone until I mentioned him on a production meeting. And so, Grant, if you're watching, the reason why Discovery called you is because Moi mentioned your name, and he's the one that kept bragging about you. So, Grant,
Yes,
you got to
sir.
come on the podcast.
So-
Does he do cigars?
Huh?
Does
Oh,
Grant
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Grant,
yeah.
let's have a cigar. I'll
Yeah.
come to you. I'll make
That'll
it
be
easy.
Nice. We'll go to Miami, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so if I have 3 books I could recommend to anybody, well, let me go to 4. It'll be the 10X Rule, by Grant Cardone, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Wilkins, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, and Profit First. Those
Great
4
books.
books, if you read or listen to those 4 books, and your mindset doesn't change after those 4 books, go find a job at McDonald's.
It's
Like, it's the truth. Like, I'm sorry.
no. I'll tell you, Michael Barnett, a good friend of mine, he just wrote a book. It's sitting over there. That's another great one. But all those are great books. I live off of. I want to tell you right now is that a lot of people say this, is that Jocko's book changed my life. Here's why. Extreme Ownership is I've always owned shit, but it's extreme ownership. There's a difference between I learned ownership before I read Jocko's book. I had ownership in my life. I would say now I have extreme ownership, and I still don't get it 100%. That's why I reread the book. I'm into multiple reads of the book. And every time I read, it's like the Bible. Every time I read it, as I mature in business and life, I get something new out of it. And so that, to me, is one of the most important books in the world.
I've listened to each one of those books multiple times.
What's something you love to do? Anything in the world that you haven't?
Ooh,
Something that you haven't done yet in life that you'd love to do.
I probably suck at it, but I want to get into golf.
Do you really?
I don't know.
I
It's
totally
just
suck at it.
like I used to play baseball when I was younger, so I swung it like a baseball bat.
Right.
So like it's more of a mental focus
It is
type of
It's
sport.
harder
It's
than
like
hell.
I enjoyed the challenge, right?
Yeah.
So it's like once things, I'm gonna take some golf lessons.
You know
at the
who's a
Trump
good
Doral,
golfer that changed the we were at Top Golf.
Yeah.
And Bob Phillips and I are not.
Well, no, Top Golf, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But that's as far as it goes.
Well, it is. That's how I
That's as
am.
far as it
But it's funny because
goes.
Keith DePlessis is a really good golfer. He's one of those that he's got his little foot up and he's got his hands all placed right for, and he hits it and the fucking goes right where it wants to go. Well, Bob Phillips and I are just trying to murder the ball. We're trying to hit the back net every single time. Well, he starts working with Bob and I don't know it. I'm on the other side at Top Golf, right? And all of a sudden, Bob gets his foot action like looking good. And I'm like, hold on, dude. How the hell did you change that fast? And he goes, well, Keith showed me. So I'm like, hey, get over here, dude. Get over here. Show me how to look like.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, so I just started murdering the
So
ball.
I want to wait until I'm gonna start taking some golf lessons at the Trump and Doral. So
Okay. Say what's on your hat because we might as well.
yeah, because some people may interpret it wrong, but
Oh yeah, let's get a close up of that thing.
Okay, so
Make you feeling great.
yeah. So it's that, not the other one, which I don't give a shit. How do people connect with you?
oh man, they could go either on Facebook or Instagram at Miami Lux Detail Supply, and that's it. All platforms, TikTok.
Right on. Yeah. And if you're in Florida, seriously, screw going to Disney. If you're a car person, go to a shop. It's really cool. We made a plan out for him yesterday. He's going to start doing some new cool shit. I can't wait to see the twist you bring to that. I'm not even going to say what it is. Don't say it right now.
No, I just
So just execute it. Start executing
If I could throw something into the mix, is I encourage business owners just to embrace their business, their brand, and where they're from. It's like Miami. I don't care who in detailing goes to Miami. That's my city.
Yeah.
That's my city, and I'll go against anybody on that.
Yeah.
I embrace it. And you go to my shop. You have
It
you have Greg the Flamingo.
Yeah.
You have
No, and that's what I dug about it is you went local. I mean, you went the flavors there, and all of us. I mean, I come up from the time of Miami Vice being on TV, right? And that was my only. I took my first business trip. I was telling these guys what happened on my first business trip to Florida. It wasn't Miami though, but I did drive down on that trip because I'd never seen Miami. I'm young, right? Oh my God! If you haven't seen, and there's Miami, and then there's the other part, right?
Across the bridge.
Yeah, go to, and honestly, I went to all parts of it.
You got Greg the Flamingo there.
Yeah, there you go. There's the picture.
Cigar, some Cuban coffee.
Yeah, and so it's just like Cuban coffee, dude, is addictive. If you're a coffee lover, you've got to have Cuban coffee, and you got to have somebody that really knows how to make Cuban coffee.
Yeah.
Woo! You want to have that a cigar? Oh man, buddy, you're gonna be loaded up. Man.
You'll have a good day.
You'll have a good day.
Yeah,
and so it's pretty cool if you guys, and I think that I'm going to pay tribute. So I'm going to give some takeaways in addition to what we've talked about, books and everything else. I think what William's really done a good job at is taking and creating his brand, as you guys just saw. We're wearing it right now. But I think what William's done is, without even anybody saying anything to him, is he's created a personal brand. Is that when I think of you, I don't think of Miami Lux. I think of William Lara. Is I think that you've become a personality within your brand. And I think more people need to do that. I really, as you guys connect with anybody watching, if you own a business, is he's done a great job. You guys probably first related to Miami Lux. But how much, and you guys are actual customers, how much do you relate to that name versus William?
It's because of William why I go to the business.
You guys just heard that. It's because of William he goes to the business. And so I think that, we have fun with William, and William's created such a personality within our group that, and you're going to create people that don't like you because you're eccentric. You're
don't care.
Unique. There you go. You don't care.
It's funny because like business, life, and everything.
Steven's still smelling his finger. He just put it up and went. It's
funny.
Like about us sitting in first class and you didn't even recognize it. With a little pee on.
I don't like to brag about that, but what happens?
I'm sitting in first class.
It's like you said it earlier. Like if it doesn't benefit me financially, physically, or emotionally, I could care less.
I don't care.
And my business and my life started improving so much better when I started doing that
Yeah.
to another level.
See, listen, I'm always going to do above the board business wise, but if I've got a competitor, it's they're putting, and this is how I used to think as a young dad, is they're putting Nikes on all their kids, or I'm putting Nikes on all mine. So if one of us is going to pay less, it's not going to be me.
Oh, no.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be me. Is I'm going to always, and I don't undercut. I always, price wise, you know, we always offered affordable quality. You know, we had a working class, but we were pretty much the highest priced service provider, and we had a lot of businesses in different industries. We were never the cheapest. You know, a lot of people don't know this. We started up an executive protection company that moved into executive transportation, that moved into airport shuttle, that moved into backcountry skiing and river rafting shuttle. We bought another company out. And then I was like looking at the taxi companies, and I'm going, hey, man, they're pieces of shit. I need to start a taxi company up that's high end. And we did. And guess who we were? Number one. And it was a cheaper service, right, than all the other companies I owned. But it was a lot more expensive than the regular taxis because we didn't do the drunk crowd. We didn't go up and sit in town. Well, then we had to because we were missing out, because even the drunks that wanted to throw up in our van, they wanted one. And so what we did is we had one van, all-wheel drive Toyota, dedicated to the drunk crowd. And we just put a car condom inside of it. It was all plastic. And it was all
You don't recognize it.
yeah, they don't.
I don't think.
It was throw up proof. Exactly. It. We just rinse and go.
I don't think Chris is going to allow us to do my podcast again.
Well,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a URL we need to purchase right there.
Yeah, right. So hey, we want to take and we want to thank Double Black Team PNS, you know, for making all these happen. And it's really an honor. One of the things is I always try to end with, grab me that bottle of Shine All right behind it. You know, right now we're going through a weird time, and not to make this a broadcast, but I'm going to make it a broadcast. Right now, some of the dressings are really hard to get a hold of. So people have been hitting me up. Shine All is readily available. It's a water-based dressing. Yeah, exactly. Somebody just found a gallon of Dynamic that's walking away from it. But, you know, if you haven't tried Shine All, try it. It's a good interior dressing, exterior dressing.
And let me tell you something. I started using Shine All. I've been using Shine All for years, especially for a mobile guy. It's one of the best dressings you can use for the price. You can't, even with an increase, you can still get a good bang for your buck.
Oh, you do. And it's
100%.
good on engines, interiors. You can dilute it, change it all around. You can have a nice matte finish that's on the Chevelle, or you can have something that's a little more extreme. So,
hey, by the way, before we wrap up, you know, Jody Cedric asked where his shirt is. So,
Mammy shirts are in current production. I'm actually coming out with a pretty cool theme that I think you guys will enjoy.
Hey, this is to give Jody with Road FS.
I promise, Jody, I got you.
Oh, and check this out. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. This is something that Jody just typed in. I wanted to share with everybody.
I'm too far away from it. These young guys.
That's right. Jody wrote, "Embrace who you are and don't try and be someone else. Authenticity pays in the long run."
If I might just say something on that, you know, and I've learned, you know, not just being through, you know, in the mafia and in the industry, is don't worry about being the next Justin Labato or Renny Doyle. Worry about being the first you.
Amen.
You know,
and let me tell you, okay, Jody and I have been friends for freaking 20 years. I mean, we've known each other a long time. In Idaho, we had our detailing shop up in Idaho. People go, really? You do detailing in Idaho? Look who's based out of Idaho. Road FS, you know, is right there. Rad Company's right there. Who would ever guess? Right when I was doing my exit out of there, it becomes a freaking powerhouse. And then the reason we moved back is my mom's sick, and she doesn't want to move to Idaho. On her deathbed, the last day I talked to her the day before, I go, hey, Mom, any regrets in life? I mean, my mom was coaching me through her death. My mom changed, even after she's been gone, she has been such a major influence with what she left me. And on her deathbed, she goes, yeah, I got one major regret. And I was like, getting ready to take in some wisdom, right? And here's my hardcore Italian mom. And she goes, you know when you wanted me to move to Idaho to be closer to you guys? And you moved here back to California because I didn't want to leave. So yeah, and she goes, yeah, I wish I just would have went to Idaho. And I was like, oh, damn, you know, holy crap. But everything for a reason. you know. And I know Steven's sitting here because he really recently lost his dad, and I just hit a chord with him. And usually you're gonna get me all mushy too, dude. But you look at what our parents and this wasn't even. Hey, what's your mom look like?
I'll pass.
You know where I'm going with this. We got one of our good friends in the group. So Renzo.
I'm stepdad number one. You're stepdad number two.
Yeah, his mom and I have a special thing going. And we don't take that literal. It's a hot button with Renzo. So we always hit him with that. We're going through a camera one day and he's showing me something and he skips through his camera to show me a picture. I said, "Whoa, hold on, man. Who's that hottie?" He goes, "Dude, that was my mom." I said, "Oh, mom. Wow." And he's like, dude, he was grossed out, man. He was just having it. So, hey, like, share, make a comment, suggestions, go over, follow Will. He's a good guy. And, dude, we got a cigar to finish. We got some training to do.
I'm going to say one more thing before we end. You know, the title is Small Business, Big Thinking. You'll never have a big business if you don't think big.
And big doesn't need to necessarily be big. It can be small and profitable.
Amen.
And afford you the life that you want. You know, that's the most important thing, guys. You can still listen. Is you can have a 1 or 2 man shop to become a millionaire. It's just going to take you a while. And I'm going to tell you, there's some 1 and 2 man shops that have hit multi-million-dollar values in their personal life without being a big shop. And they've done it in 10 years. Well, that's a fraction of the time that it took me, you know? And so it's doable. You don't have to be big. You just have to be good. You got to put your brand out there. You got to save and put money away. You can't be foolish. So many of us are poor dudes. Even if we didn't grow up poor, we have a poor mentality. We have a poor man's thinking. We have a poor man's judgment. We have a poor. Is stop thinking like that. You know, think that you can be what you want. I love the whole vision that you've got. And both of us buy into the same people. You know, we watch the same, we listen to the same. And I listen to everybody, but you know, it's obviously, you know, it's made an impact on your life at 56 years old. I'm sitting here taking notes from these guys this week. You know, something that each one of you do, I take away from every person that comes through this training, and I'll put it into the next training. I'll put it into my life. Your calmness, you know, of doing what you do for a living I thought about that this morning when everything kind of went bad with the camera. I thought of you.
Oh, wow.
I was like, hey man, he's gonna walk in here. I can't be a wreck. Seriously, how cool is that? You know, that really cool. I took something away. Is that each one of you, I love who you are. You're just who you are. You're such a young dude, and you're such a young dude to be as cool and collected as you guys are and have your shit together. Listen, this is a generation right here. He's included. All these guys are. You want to say this generation's bullshit, bull? I'm gonna call foul, man, because these guys that I'm sitting here now they're as good as any generation I've seen. And I think that the greatest generation, the generation that fought World War II, I think we're seeing a revamp and a rebirth in the current 20-something-year-olds. Small percentage, but it doesn't matter what percentage is. I think we're seeing a rebirth of greatness. I think they're seeing bullshit with our government, bullshit with the social media, bullshit with the whole, you know, carrot in front of you, you know, and trying to get you to work freaking 900 hours. Well, you already do that. So we got to change that habit. You need to smoke some more cigars. You know? Yeah, do you?
More mellow.
Yeah. Or something more mellow.
I'm gonna have a cigar event at the shop.
Well, we're trying to gun it out. We'll have to do that next year.
Yeah,
when I'm down there. That'd be fun.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot. You know, it's been an honor, dude. I'm gonna shake your hand right now. I'm actually gonna give you a hug. I'm gonna give you a hug. And so, hey, follow this guy. It's a lot of fun. You guys, thanks. Wish these guys the best. Stick in there, guys. Anybody that's struggling, if you're growing and you're huge and you're trying to get over that next hurdle, it's going to happen for you. In the event that you're brand new and really struggling, endure that pain and actually embrace it, because when you look back, it's going to be some of the best times you've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. You take care, okay? We'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys.
Chris, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.